Characteristics of nerve fibers. We have two introduction to nerve cells. Two types of nerve cells रहती है. Nerve cells में क्या रहता है? Two types की रहती है. Neurons रहते हैं and there are glial cells. Neurons and glial cells. ठीक है. Neurons are the functional units of CNS. Functional unit जो है, these are neurons. Functional units of CNS are neurons. Glial cells. Glial cells are supporting cells. Supporting cells, neurons and glial cells. We have 1:10 ratio, means for 1 neurons we have 10 glial cells. Now we'll study about the glial cells. Glial cells, we have macroglial cells and microglial cells. Obviously based on size, micro means small in size, micro means large in size. ठीक है. Microglial cells, these are derived from macrophage monocytes, and these do the work of phagocytosis. Microglial cells may we have many more. One is astrocytes, which is star-shaped astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, Schwann cells, ependymal and satellite cells, and satellite cells. Schwann cells and oligodendrocytes do myelin sheath formation. Myelin sheath formation. ठीक है. Oligodendrocytes do myelin sheath formation in CNS and Schwann cell do myelin sheath formation in PNS. Schwann cell do single layer of myelin sheath and oligodendrocytes can do multiple layer of myelin sheath formation. Ependymal cells, these lines the ventricles of brain. Now we come to astrocytes, which are the star-shaped cells. ठीक है. Star-shaped cells रहती है. They are of two types, protoplasmic and fibrous. Fiber is white, protoplasmic fiber is white, so fibers are in white matter. तो fibrous cells जो रहती हैं वो white matter में रहती हैं. Fibrous astrocytes are in white matters and protoplasmic astrocytes are in gray matter. Astrocytes has a tumor marker GFAP, which is an intermediate filament. It is a tumor marker for astrocytes. What is GFAP? Glial fibrillary acidic protein. Glial fibrillary acidic protein. GFAP, it is a tumor marker which is increased in astrocytoma. It is a tumor marker which is increased in astrocytomas, and it is visualized in astrocytoma because anti-GFAP antibodies. Anti-GFAP antibodies हम ऐड करते हैं. एंटी-जीएफएपी एंटीबॉडी हम ऐड करते हैं ताकि जो है हमें एस्ट्रोसाइट जो है वो विजुअलाइज हो सके, क्योंकि एस्ट्रोसाइट्स हैज जीएफएपी. हम वी विल ऐड एंटी-जीएफएपी एंटीबॉडीज, तो जो है इनकी रिएक्शन होगी तो फ्लोरेसेंस होगा, जो भी होगा फ्लोरेसेंस होगा, तो वी कैन विजुअलाइज एस्ट्रोसाइट्स. उसके बाद में फंक्शंस ऑफ एस्ट्रोसाइट्स. Functions of astrocytes. First and most important function of astrocyte is formation of blood-brain barrier. Blood-brain barrier, it is the most critical. It has endothelial cells of blood vessels, endothelial cells which form tight junction, and astrocyte food process, and astrocytes. Food process of astrocyte is there. First function and most critical function of astrocyte is formation of blood-brain barrier. उसके बाद में next one is migration of neurons. They form pathway for the migration of neurons. These are also known as radial glial cells. Obviously, these are like this radial glial cells, radial glial cells. These forms pathway for neuronal migrations, forms pathway for neuronal migration during development. Migration of neurons during development. Astrocytes form pathway for the migration of neuron during development. And another function of astrocyte is synapse formation. Astrocytes release a growth factor. Astrocytes release a growth factor. This name is thrombospondin. Thrombospondin. Astrocytes release a growth factor, thrombospondin, which helps in synapse formation. ठीक है, तो astrocytes help in synapse formation. Fourth one is environmental modulation. या synaptic cleaning. What we can call it as synaptic cleaning. There are many neurotransmitters and ions in the synapse which are cleared by astrocytes. ठीक है, astrocytes make this in the perivascular space, move these neurotransmitters and ions into the perivascular space. So what does astrocyte do? The most critical function of the astrocyte is the formation of blood-brain barrier. Then it is radial. Astrocytes, radial glial cells, these are also called radial glial cells, as it forms the pathway for the migration of neuron during development, and it forms the synapse due to release of a growth factor called thrombospondin, and it clears the synapse, that is environmental modulation, by moving them into the perivascular space. It also does detoxification of ammonia. Neuronal signaling, there is neuronal signaling and release of glutamate in the synapse. Glutamate release होता है. Then astrocyte क्या करते हैं हमारे? It adds NH3 to the glutamate and make this glutamine. So this is called by an enzyme glutamine synthase की helps, and this is called glutamate. Glutamine. Glutamate. Glutamine cycle. So this is how it detoxifies NH3, and it also does neurovascular coupling. Principle of functional MRI. This is neurovascular coupling is principle of functional MRI. What is functional MRI? Those parts of the brain which does the function, which are active, has increased blood supply. जो ब्रेन का पार्ट फंक्शन कर रहा है उस पे ज्यादा ब्लड सप्लाई होगी. ठीक है, इंक्रीज ब्लड सप्लाई, दैट इज नोन एज फंक्शनल hyperemia. What does astrocytes have to do with this is एस्ट्रोसाइट्स पे क्या होता है, ग्लूटामेट आता है विच इज रिलीज इन द सिनेप्स, ग्लूटामेट आता है। एस्ट्रोसाइट्स पे होता है न्यूरोक्लीन रिसेप्टर, न्यूरोक्लीन रिसेप्टर which receives the glutamate, ठीक है। आफ्टर दैट ग्लूटामेट अटैच होता है न्यूरोग्लिन रिसेप्टर से, एस्ट्रोसाइट्स रिलीज करती है एरेक्टोनिक एसिड डेरिवेटिव्स, एरिक्डोनिक एसिड डेरिवेटिव्स एंड प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स, एरिक्डोनिक एसिड डेरिवेटिव्स एंड प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स रिलीज करती है which will do the vasodilation and that will do the functional hyperemia, ठीक है। that is neurovascular coupling which is the principle of a functional MRI.